All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Zaza taking on Mr. 5000 in our next match. If you're just joining us, Shao Kahn took on New Jackal in one of the fixtures a little bit early on at 5 o'clock, our first fixture of the day. And Shao Kahn once again proving his dominance, coming up with a 3-0 victory. And then just a second ago, it was ACF taking on Killjoy. And Killjoy, he was getting wrecked, let's be honest, early on against ACF. 2-0 down. Went over to the Atom Man himself and managed to claw one back. And then in a very closely fought game, Killjoy fought his way back in. But it was a little too late as it ended 3-1. But now we cross over to the game that we've been waiting for. Mr. 5000 taking on Zaza. And I think both of these players are pretty much ready to get this one going. As we're going to jump straight to character select, rather. And it's going to be Mr. 5000 on our left-hand side. And on our right-hand side, it is going to be Zaza. I want to find out your predictions in the chat. Let me know. Who do you think is going to come up with this one? Who do you think is going to be able to stand the test and prove themselves to be the better player from Zambia? It is, of course, Zaza taking on Mr. 5000, the two Zambian players going head-to-head. And it looks like Mr. 5000 going with essentially the blind pick there.
Begin.
Oh, and whips out a Joker, surprisingly. So we hear the tainted laugh, and not something that I've seen come out of Mr. 5000 before. So trying to mix things up as he's going up against the Green Lantern, but it's all looking purple here today, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just going to keep on zoning, and both these players just trying to do their work from distance. The Joker trying to find his way in. Will be able to throw down those munches. And just zoning out his opposite number once again as he connects with the combo. And ooh, lands a big back three into overhead combo, and is going to be able to finish with a couple of big shots. It is Mr. 5000 that is coming up absolutely manically massive on this one. We do actually have a prediction in the chat. September is saying that Zaza is going to lose this one 3-1 as Mr. 5000 seemingly unstoppable at the moment. But as I say that, gets put into the corner by the Green Lantern. And at the moment, it is going to be split between both of these players. This one really can go either way. But in the corner right now, as he connects to overhead, the clash will finally get called out here.
Ring, don't fail me now.
1 bar to the 0. Just allows himself to bridge a little bit of distance between him and his opposite number. Such a mental game between both of these players at the moment. As you can see, they're very equal to the task. As the overhead connect will not be able to find its way in. As here we go, it is going to be Zaza's opportunity. As he connects with the wall and once again puts him in a corner. And this is a position that we've seen time and time again that Mr. 5000 seemingly struggles in, but he's managed to turn it around as the munches keep on finding their way on their target, as he keeps him piling that pressure on with the crowbar in the corner. And finally,
look bad? I'll show you funny.
It looks like the clash will get called out. Ooh, it gets tied out as well, so no health going to be going in favor of Zaza here. As he needs to find his way forward, as he found himself on the back foot. But right now, keeping this combo going. And it looks like Mr. 5000 is dazed and confused as he puts himself in the back foot. And it is Zaza who comes out with the 1-0 win. Good play here from Zaza. As he picks up the 1-0 and makes a match of it, ladies and gentlemen. We go back to character select. And will we see a change-up? Well, what I can guarantee you is we're going to see them change sides for sure. As it is going to be Mr. 5000 now on our right-hand side.
Fighters approaching Gorilla City.
Left. So Zaza with the 1-0 lead in a very tightly fought game, as once again we're going to go to Joker as well as Green Lantern. No laughs coming out from Mr. 5000 himself after that one. Oh, That one's not going to be able to connect, as it looks like a couple of big shots will get traded out here, but it's going to be Zaza keeping that pressure piling on, grabbing his player and his opposite number, and Mr. 5000 trying to play that zoning game, but it's really not been working out too well. We've seen him do some amazing work in the corner with that crowbar, as well as essentially the exploding teeth of doom. And right now, big combos get laid down as he will be able to connect. Puts him in a corner once again. Not going to be able to find his way in with the overhead, as the lantern's also not going to be able to find his way in. But it's going to need to be a frame. You need to take advantage of that, Mr. 5000. At the moment, still backed up in the corner as the clash will finally get called out. And this at least will be able to bridge a little bit of distance between both of these players and give Mr. 5000 an opportunity to find his way back into this game. And there we go. That's exactly what he needed, to grab, to try find his way forward. As Mr. 5000 not too sure of how he's going to be able to take this one. Puts down the munches. Oh, jumps his way out of that one, but finds himself back into a corner. And this is not a place that you want to be when the Joker's playing around. Goes down, the meter burn going to be used just to be able to bridge the distance, and it's used effectively here as Zaza's Green Lantern doing some great work at the moment as he connects in midair with that kick to the face. And it looks like it's going to be an air escape meter burn, but it's really not going to go anywhere at the moment, as just like that, it's going to be another round going in favor of Zaza, as Mr. 5000 finds himself in a precarious position, being 2-0 down. All right, so will he go back to his reverse flash?
Green Lantern.
Yeah, we have to see this at this point. I'd be shocked if we saw anything else. It is going to be the reverse flash, and right now that name needs to be apt, because he needs to reverse sweep his opposite number right now, and reverse flash is probably the best player that he can do it with. So let's see if he can use that trademark character that he has built as his own in a lot of ways to be able to flash his way back into the game. We'll have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. As we cross over, it is Zaza with the Green Lantern, been looking so phenomenal. And Mr. 5000 with the reverse flash will immediately find himself on the back foot. Zaza's Green Lantern has been doing some work. Lands a 12-hit combo for 350. And now it is going to be, the drop combo from Mr. 5000 himself. As he finally connects with the grab, and that's going to give him a little bit of distance once again. Will connect with the low into the overhead, slows down time, and essentially is going to kick, and kick him to the ground. As at the moment, Zaza is on the back foot. An overhead will once again land as the juggle keeps on going, as Mr. 5000 is back. This one.
Fastest man alive.
And Zaza seemingly not too sure how to take this one going forward, as he finally lands a couple of big shots of his own, and now puts Mr. 5000 in the corner. Not going to be able to connect with the overhead, but will be able to find his way forward as he does exactly that. Throws him back and forth, and once again it is dead even between both of these players as Zaza finds his way back forward. Overhead gets called into play with the back three as time slows down. Is he going to be using that interactable? Unfortunately, won't be able to connect with the back three again, as obviously used once already in that combo. There's a couple of big shots you get traded out, and once again is going to be a clash that gets called out. Clash does get tied, but it is Zaza on the back foot. As he gets low sweat. As the overhead gets called in, and there's now finally Zaza has the opportunity to spend some bars and get some health back here. Spends 2 bars, and understandably so, 25% health regen. As the overhead will get called into play, will be able to connect with the interactable, and now tries to find his way in with the overhead. And the low finally just chipping away at his opposite number. A big overhead once again. And it's so difficult. You need to be on top of that. You need to be exactly where your opposition is thinking. For right now, it is going to be Mr. 5000 coming up with the W. And it is going to be Zaza who needs to reflect and see if he's got what it takes to be able to jump into this character select and change things up. All right, so is now Mr. 5000 on our left-hand side, and Zaza that will move to our right-hand side. Considering going with the Starfire.
Adam.
Oh. Oh, that is so good to see. He even decided to change the outfit with Starfire, and he said, we're going to Microtown once again, ladies and gentlemen. So off we go.
Begin.
There's of course Mr. 5000. Right now, ooh, comes up with a big grab at the moment, and will the small man be able to stand up against the fastest man? We saw Mr. 5000 actually struggle a little bit against Parasurama's Atom earlier on last week, as he gets himself an earful of earwax from the Flashman himself. Once again, just jumps in, says, you know what, I'll take a little bit of a lobotomy, as he finds his way in, aptly so, on this Egyptian team map. As he goes micro, and it is Mr. 5000 on the back foot. It is the pocket pick of Atom, the smallest pocket pick that is essentially coming in big for a couple of the players. Does seemingly change the pace, and obviously catches so many people off guard as soon as he goes small. And there we go, it is that micromanagement that it comes up massive, and it is Mr. 5000. The first one on the back foot, as he gets put into a corner once again. The overhead meter burn not going to be able to call into play. And a couple of lows. Ooh, once again, just goes for that low chip out, just to test his opposite number. He is plus on frames. So there we go, into the back three, connects in midair, and it is going to be Mr. 5000 falling out.
I think I'll pass this hero test.
The Clash. Ooh, Clash gets tied out, so no health going to be regained here, as it is going to be the microform. Comes up with a grab, but this time it does get red from Mr. 5000, who fights his way back. And now,
Not much of a future for you.
Mr. 5000 needs to come up massive. The uppercut, however, connects in the mid-air juggle and will be able to find his way in. Mr. 5000 very low, as the low will be able to find its way in, and just like that, it is the back three. Mr. 5000 trying to just forge his way back in. Tries to bridge that distance with the dash. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get in. But for right there, the teleport comes into play. It is the overhead. It is the juggle. But it does get air escaped. And just like that, at the last, finds his way in. And it is Mr. 5000 that loses out on this one. It is Zaza coming up with a 3-1 victory. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our first set of fixtures coming to an end, as it is Zaza who's claiming that victory 3-1 against his opposite number.